Katana Beats Paper.
Greetings and salutations everybody, my name's Raphael, otherwise known as Katana Beats Paper, and this is a Nerf video. Well, not exactly. So just to give a little backstory, I almost dropped something. I am a big fan of Halo, and I'm also a big fan of Nerf. So when Boomco announced that they were doing the Halo stuff, I was excited but also disappointed because nothing wrong with Boomco, don't get me wrong, it's just not my preferred way of projecting plastic and foam at people. It's not my thing. Also, majority of my fans fire Nerf, so it wouldn't make sense if we're having a Nerf war, and I'm the only one with Boomco. It's silly. So, if you've seen one of my other videos, I've converted one of the Nerf pistols to shoot Nerf. Oh my god, I'm a wreck. Okay, I'm back. As I was saying, if you've seen my other video, I've converted a Boomco Halo pistol to shoot Nerf darts. And it was a super easy transformation, conversion, whatever. And I tried to think what else I can convert. And while browsing the Instagram, I stumbled upon a Instagram user named Nerf Dust Customs. And they've also done the Halo pistol Nerf conversion. But they also started on the Brute Spiker conversion. And originally I got the idea too, but the way I was planning to do it was to get a Nerf clip, shove it into this little hole here, and just make a little adapter just to connect it to the air area and just fire darts away just like that. They did it a little differently, and when I saw the way they did it, it was fucking phenomenal. So the way they did it is they took this, the Nerf, what was it, corner shot, which is a fun little gimmicky blaster where you could fire from corners and whatever. It's fun and cool, but there is a removable section with the 4 dart holders and air restrictors and blah 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 right here, and it comes out, and the way they showed it in their picture is that it almost lined up perfectly with the internals of here, and you just need to figure out how to line it up, make it look good, and make it work. So from there, I took that torch and I carried it on through and did my own little diddly of it. So this is where this baby comes in. This is my lovely Nerf Brute Spiker. Like you see here, it has the 4 Nerf spots, so it fires just nicely. It fired 2 at a time, so it's much similar to the rough cut. So Smart AR sometimes is finicky, but whatever. It shoots Nerf now. That's all I care. Also a little extra cosmetic work to hide the little gaping holes, because once you do that, you don't really need access to that. And luckily, I have a 3D printer, so I was able to 3D print these little panels that I haven't glued in yet, but they basically hide the internals. And if you look closely right here, that's the little connecting piece I've 3D printed to connect the Nerf valve area to the plunger tube of the Boomco gun. And once it's all connected, after some fiddling, some sanding, some cutting, it literally fits in perfectly and it's done. So without further ado, let's go to that. Right. So we're going to start off with the corner shot. Very simple job. You're going to grab your screwdriver. Where the hell is mine? I'm going to have my little thing here. So I'm going to start by taking off this side first. Alright, so now that all the screws are gone, you can actually take it apart. So originally I always thought when I was doing it that I could only take off one half and just get to this, but you need to take off both halves. You'll see why. So I'll take off this part first, move it off, and then basically pull it off the piece. And then that's why you need to take both halves off, because you can't get this part out without taking the top part off. And just pry this part off, and there you go. So I'm going to put this aside. And this is the internals of the corner sight right here. Now, to get this out is you just carefully lift it out, and then pull out this part and pull out the plunger tube a little bit, and there you go. So this is the whole assembly. You can actually take off the little front cover right here. And if you want to have it just like this, or use it for other reasons, this is a whole piece for you. But I'm gonna need it like this, if I could get it in the fucking hole. There you go. Leave it like this. So the rest of this, you can do whatever the hell you want. I have no idea where the other part of mine went. But I basically left it as is. And I have a functional plunger tube with trigger. So if you want to connect something here and make it a working single shot or something, it's all up to you. So okay, let's get this away and clear it out. Alright, next step is to take your, what's it called? Brute shot. Now if you're smart, you do it without these attached. I think mine are, I think I ripped one off. Nope, they're stuck. So you're gonna see me with it on. So if you happen to have one, you know, used and, you know, all put together, you're gonna follow my instruction. If you are lucky enough to not have it on yet, it's gonna be easier. So I'm gonna get my lovely screwdriver, find my nice little magnet. Right, ow. Alright, now that this is done, you could take off the top piece. I'm gonna just put the screws out first. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Put this aside. And let me get you a good shot of the internals to save for later. It's all there. Alright. Here you go. These are all the internals if you want to take a quick picture. There you go. Now you could take this orange piece off. We're not going to need it. And the parts we're going to take off is these pieces and basically all the front pieces here and here. And they're super easy to take out. This one you just pull right off. Grab your screwdriver. Unscrew this right here. Just pull off right here. And here. Alright, so it stopped at some point. So in case I missed whatever, I basically took out all the pieces that were here and in front of the plunger tube, as well as this little gray hook piece right here. So now that's all done. You should have something that looks like this, because everything else we're keeping. You can actually take this part out, but it's bolted in, so I don't want to deal with that. So what's next? Oh, a little cosmetic work. So you can take off the loose pieces. So the priming bar and the trigger. Make sure you don't lose the springs to the trigger, both of them, because those are very important. Take this out for now. And okay, everything else should be secured. Okay, so let me get a nice little marker to mark off what we're cutting. Let's see. So we're gonna cut off this piece, this piece. So let me get you in focus right here. Right here. So we're gonna trim this piece right here, just above the screw post area, and same thing up here. Oops, right here. Right, just underneath the screw post area, or behind it. Or actually no, in front of it, right here. And then also right here, this entire area, this little groove cut, we're cutting that out. So fun thing about this plastic is that you could actually score it with an X-Acto knife and then bend it a little bit until it breaks off. Now, be careful with an X-Acto knife, okay? So once you score it, I already did, and I didn't record on video. You're gonna just take your tweezers or whatever and just carefully bend the plastic until it slowly starts to break off. There you go. That was my finger that I caught. There you go. See? Breaks off nice and clean. Put that piece right there and do the same for the bottom. So I'll do it right here. I hope I don't cut myself on camera. So 1 score, 2 score, and then one more time just to give it an extra oomph. Then go in with the tweezers and then just carefully bend and flex it, and it comes right off. See, so there's the front already. Now we did this piece. It helps if you just follow the groove of how the body of the brute shot is. Not brute shot, brute spiker. Because it makes it much easier and an easier fit for the the barrel of the Secret Shot. I'll try to score a little more. So I would like to mention again, be really fucking careful, because X-Acto knives are no joke. I have cut myself many times on these things. There you go. There you go. That piece is there. And there you go. Nice and clean. Alright, so these are all the pieces we're going to need. The barrel area, plunger, air restrictor part of the corner sight, the inner pieces of the brute spiker, and now here's a little thing. So I'll just line it up first to give you an idea. This goes here. So the plunger goes here. This piece actually fits snugly right here, and if you can see right there, it's almost perfect. Now I have a 3D printer, so I was able to 3D print this piece, but if you don't have a 3D printer, Nerf, oh, what's their name? Nerf Dust Custom said they actually used a tube, just probably clear tubing to connect this tube to that tube. There's just an opening on the bottom right here, if you can see. Right, I'm aiming right there. You go. Yeah, there's just a hole where you can plug in a tube and connect it to this one. Or if you like to do any other means, you're welcome to. So this piece will actually just push into there, and this will just, oh god, it broke. Alright, so there was a little hiccup. So I printed this piece, I think 4 times, because it kept warping and then it kept breaking. So now this piece actually works, so I'm going to continue to where I left off. So, alright, you're going to take this piece and this piece. You're going to pop this off to the side. And I believe I said it in the first part, but the original way that the person I got this idea from is that they were going to use tubing to connect these two areas. But for me, since I have a 3D printer, I'm going to use my 3D printer to print out a piece. And this piece is basically a hole in the front for the blue plunger, and then a hole in the top right here for the rest of this. So next part is I'm going to need to wipe this off just a little bit. So I'm going to wipe this area off with a tank top that I happen to have, and take the O-ring off actually. Now that's done, put that aside real quick. I'll get my handy dandy handsaw. You'll see where this comes in a little bit. You might think, oh, this is destructive, but there's a reason for this. Okay, so now this part is done and cleaned off. I'm going to just brush it off real quick. You have this whole area, and just to test fit it real quick, you'll see that it's still not all the way down. So what I did is that I took my X-Acto knife, which happens to be right here, there you go, and just lightly cut the rim of it, just to give it a little bit more space. In hindsight, I could just remodel it to where I could actually incorporate the lip, but for the sake of time and the fact that I printed this 5 times, I'm just going to do a quick carve, and that's what I did on the first one. So carefully carve it, and there you go. Clear it out, and then test it once more, make sure it's fairly flush. There you go, that's good. So here's the next piece. I'm going to get some Teflon tape. Just a little bit of it, not too much. Put it off, and then wrap the tip of this just with about 1 layer of it. Clean that up. There you go. And then I'm going to put this part, is this the right way? This way, okay. And then just shove it on. It doesn't really go on there too well, but it helps just to hold it. It's already a tight friction fit. I just put the Teflon tape to give it an extra seal, even though it's not 100% on there. it works regardless, don't worry. I mean, if you want to be even more secure, you can put hot glue or epoxy around here. But speaking of epoxy, that's where this comes in. It's for this piece. Don't rush, otherwise you'll get it in the hole. Bow chicka bow wow. And you don't want to get in the hole, despite popular demand and popular belief. So just carefully get it into the groove of where the O-ring was. Well, this was above the O-ring, so the groove above the O-ring. And this will help make sure it's a nice permanent seal between the two parts. Okay, oh, there you go. So I'm going to put this aside. I don't want to put it in the garbage just yet because I don't want it hardening into the garbage, and then just push it inside. Now, you're going to make sure this is properly aligned. It's okay if this isn't aligned yet, because this you can move. This you can't. So make sure this is 100% aligned. Okay, now we wait a minute. Alright, so I realized that that whole part was not recording. So I'm screwing this really quick. Luckily I only had 2 screws in, just to show you what I just did. After everything is epoxied, I put everything back where it should go, and it lines just right. Putting everything back where the trigger goes, and the pulling bar, and everything else. So here it is, how it should look, just like this. And then once that's done, I'm going to take this piece and put it on here, just because it's easier to place back on. Make sure everything's aligned just for... Actually, I remember it's actually even easier to take this half of the priming bit and try to get everything else aligned first before putting everything in. So doing that, I'm actually going to pull this out really quick, because you need to get this little spring on this side. Underneath here, there's a spring to get it on the bottom pin. And then you just place everything back where it goes. So this piece right here, this little bottom pin right here slips onto the bottom pin of the sled, or the pulling bar. No, alright, I lied. The big one goes into the bottom pin. Just like this. Just make sure. This pin goes into the top pin. This hole right here goes into the top pin in the priming area. And then just the trigger comes back in, nice and carefully. Not to pop any springs, and then just situate it down nice and nicely. Everything back on. There you go. And just carefully put everything down, not to move anything too much. Alright, so I don't have all the screws in, but I have enough screws in to hold it together. And then once this is all pulled on, just pop the handle back on. 1 and 2. Nice and carefully. And here we go. Let me just pop in 1 screw just to hold it all up. Alright. And this is basically your finished blaster. Here's the holes in front. If you want, you can glue this in place. And now there's the issue of the gaping hole on the top and bottom. My solution was that I 3D printed these little cover pieces that just pop on. I plan to glue them on eventually because they're not like a super solid fit. Actually, this is the standard one, so this goes here. They're not a perfect fit, I'll admit that, but once I glue them in, they'll look just right. Some nice AccuStrike darts. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Push those in nicely, seat them right. Pull. Fire. And there you go. If you guys have any questions or concerns or whatever, feel free to leave a comment or message me or whatever. Because this is really my first time going over something like this. Actually, probably second, but I'm still not good at it. So any help, any constructive criticisms, I'd be more than happy to take advice and whatnot. But hope you guys like it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe if you want more. So yeah, that's a wrap. So peace, love, all the above.